transform your life. All right? The day is beautiful. It is a Wednesday, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we rejoice and are glad in it. Remember what I told you about life? It's not what comes, it's how you respond to it. And when you respond to it like in victory, then like Christ has already won the battle and everything is set. You know what I'm saying? When you respond to it like that, then life becomes something else. You're able to go through life like a knife going through butter. I'm not saying no challenges, but when the challenges come, you become like a hot knife going through butter because of the way you respond to it. You respond to it as though Christ already won the battle, because he did. I love that. Well, it's a beautiful day, and a war is brewing between the executive and the legislature at the center of its corruption, extortion, and bribery allegations. President William Ruto has in recent days accused Parliament of accepting bribes to favor committee reports, allegations that have not gone down well with both the lower and the upper house. Members of Parliament reacted to the remarks, demanding the head of state submit evidence of the corruption allegation or apologize and withdraw his remarks. Tempers flared in the National Assembly, with legislators expressing their displeasure with the president's remarks.
That passage of the act and the amendment was procured by any corruption, then that corruption can only come from the executive office of the president. Because they are the ones who wanted it to pass. And if that is so, then three things follow. One, that either the president or someone in his office knows who gave the bribe. Two, the president or someone in his office knows who received that bribe. And three, they know why it was given, because obviously it could not have been for passage. It's even more annoying that it is alleged that some 10 million was given. Do you know 10 million to give the members, that's 28,000.
Parliament is under attack, Mr. Speaker. And if you go on social media, read a newspaper, switch on your TV, continuously, this house is under attack. And Mr. Speaker, it has gone to the level where it has even gone to the funds that go to the people that we represent. That is CDF and KERA and GAF and the other funds. Mr. Speaker, the executive must respect this house. Members of this house have stood with the executive. Even though some of us have been opposing, members of this house have stood with the executive and supported them on all their agendas, including becoming extremely unpopular with the population because they were making sure that the agenda of the regime has passed on the floor of the house.
I take great exception as the statements made by His Excellency the President, now 3 times attacking the character of everyone in this house, including yourself. We must now take the position of NATO. Mass character assassination we shall not accept. If somebody is guilty, let them be charged on their own. But an attack such as the one that was, he's made it twice, 3 times. First at the Stock Exchange, a devolution conference in Homa Bay, and yesterday at our PG. It is so unfortunate that a statement condemning all of us as corrupt extortionists, yet some of us have held the sharp end of the knife to support him, is something that we cannot accept. And Mr. President must either bring the evidence, take those people to court, or apologize and withdraw.
Well, the members of Parliament were really enraged by the statements by the president. And you know, one of the statements the president made that got me concerned, he was asking the members of Parliament, hey, by the way, do you know there are members of Parliament who came and took 10 million shillings and said they were going to come and, you know, help canvass to pass, I think it was the anti-money laundering bill. And then he said they took the 10 million. Then he asked the members of Parliament, did you receive it? And they said, no. So where did they get the 10 million shillings, if not from the executive? You get what I'm saying? That's why the members of Parliament are outraged and they're demanding an apology from the president. Is he going to apologize? Let's see. Now, senators, on the other hand, demanded President William Ruto table evidence on graft accusation about a section of them while handling county government issues. President William Ruto, during a joint ODM Kenya Kwanza parliamentary group meeting, accused unnamed individuals of receiving 150 million shillings to write favorable reports in the Senate for governors. Let's listen into this.
Say anything. You have the majority leader, the minority leader, they don't say anything. By now I expected Honorable Chair to have a statement from Honorable Mazayo and Honorable Cheriot defending the institution and putting the record straight. Our Speaker, he's nowhere to be seen. And even you, Chair, I want to challenge you, and the Senator for Kituya said, Chair, if you don't defend this committee, because this committee was specifically singled out, they say we are the rent seekers in the Senate. Chair, if you don't defend us today, we are willing to move a motion of your removal today. Because we cannot continue like this. If somebody has any evidence, let them present it. I don't think, Chair, we have ever sent you to get money from anybody. We don't send our chairs there. In this committee, there's no welfare, there's no member for welfare here, as far as I know.
To come and give evidence of 150 million from Isiolo, summon the president to give evidence of 10 million on anti-money laundering bill, and to give further evidence that he has. That is how the constitution that we have is drafted.
A free day, you know, to do whatever to do. No, and the Speaker must be able to withdraw the line in the Senate. This is how far you can go. Beyond this, if you have something to say about Parliament, procedures to say.
So I think our message is that as Parliament we are open to scrutiny.
Yes,
and that scrutiny
is the point.
Must be done in accordance with the constitution we have, not the constitution that we wish to have. That scrutiny must be done in accordance with the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, which has given the speakers certain powers to deal with unethical conduct.
Meanwhile, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has begun investigating allegations that Parliament is being turned into a den of corruption. The agency says success will depend on cooperation of parliamentary leadership, given the privileged nature of the House. EACC notes that it has previously met with the speakers of both the National Assembly and Senate and will consult them again on how to embark on the probe.
The EACC is mandated constitutionally to deal with all matters to do with corruption. And so we do our investigations at whichever level. And we can only say that we are glad that the President has come out strongly on this particular matter, so that those people who may have been hiding behind politics, behind patronage, would then have nowhere to hide when we go for them. So we'll still continue doing the work that we are supposed to be doing in the way that we know how to, not just because the President has said, but because it is our mandate to do so. And we are actually doing active investigations on various individuals, and as and when that kind of information is available, we'll share with members of the public, or you'll see the consequences in the various levels of the legal system.
Well, I must say EACC has got its job all cut out for it, and let's pray that something's going to come. It is the worst kept secret that Parliament is corrupt. It's a worst kept secret. You talk to members of Parliament, they'll tell you. They know it's corrupt. What they are fighting against, the statements they are making are just, they know what they do. President Ruto is right when he says Parliament is corrupt, but at the same time, it's a question of seeing the log that is in the other person's, seeing the speck in the other person's eye and not seeing the log in your eye. It's a case of that. Meanwhile, he has established a new multi-agency to step up the fight against corruption and economic crimes in the country. In a presidential proclamation issued, the head of state said the multi-agency team on war against corruption will boost coordination investigations, prosecution, financial intelligence, and asset recovery. The team brings together 10 state agencies, including the National Intelligence Service, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Directorate of Criminal Investigation, Financial Reporting Center, Asset Recovery Agency, Kenya Revenue Authority, Central Bank of Kenya, and the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, or PPRA. The Executive Office of the President and the Office of the Attorney General will also take part. Then a couple of few minutes or so, we'll be looking at the papers, and then later on we have a conversation on winning the war against alcohol and other drugs, addiction and abuse in the country, because it's something that is really bearing its ugly face in this country. Like right now, Interior National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has launched a major crackdown on illegal alcohol in Murang'a County and ordered the arrest of notorious distributor Peter Ndwati, alias Mike Power, who allegedly escaped during a raid on some of his outlets last night. The CS also announced that the security agencies, through targeted intelligence, are on high alert on the rising number of criminal and political gangs, and warned those behind the groups that they will not be spared. He scoffed at the much hype expected return of former DP Rigathi Gachagua from the US, stressing that no one is above the law.
In the last few months or weeks when he has not been around, the country has been very peaceful. And so you have a point by saying that perhaps the security agencies should be prepared for a more chaotic environment as a result of his coming back to the country. Let me say that the security sector is prepared to deal with any insecurity issues. The last time he was around, and there were so many goons in the same of protests, we were very prepared, and every other minute the National Police Service is prepared to protect citizens and their property. We of course are aware of those elements of threatening disruptions, threatening football, you know, threatening all these other issues. I need to say that we will take legal action against anybody who is going to break law.
Well, welcome back. Let's take a look at the newspapers today. The Standard. Okay, I like finishing with the Standard because the headlines in the Standards are normally absolutely crazy. We start with the Star newspaper. MPs rebel as big bribery scandal threatens to sink Parliament. Ruto appoints powerful multi-agency team to lead war on graft. That brings together the Attorney General, Dorcas Oduo, NIS boss Nurdin Haji, and so like the clips that I played you from Parliament yesterday, members of Parliament are outraged. I mean, they lambasted the president over some of those statements, and they're saying it's a case of somebody seeing the stick in somebody's eyes while he's got a humongous log. Presidents join 40 African, President William Ruto joins 40 African leaders at TICAD in Japan. If you see the front page, you see the president with his wife leaving the country for Japan. Then the weatherman says Nyeri farmers against, weatherman warns Nyeri farmers against planting, saying rains will be short-lived, advises planting of fast-maturing crops. Now, this is what the weather forecasters are supposed to do. I agree. MPs rebel as big money bribery claims threaten credibility of Parliament. Parliament has always been, corruption has always been taking place in Parliament. What the President is saying, as I said earlier, is the worst kept secret. Who does not know? Even Babu Owino himself said what the President was saying is true. During Gashagua's impeachment, people are paid. During the passing of other bills. At least now we know from the President that during the passing or during the debate for the anti-money laundering bill, there was 10 million that was given by the executive to be distributed to members of Parliament, but a couple of members of Parliament also, decided that they were going to use it on themselves, and they did not pass it on to them. So even from the President himself, he's saying, and so it's a worst kept secret. So at least if that can happen, you never know. We may be able to stop some of this corruption, and money can find its way to the education sector, right? ODM could seal Sifuna's fate within the next 2 months. Well, ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna faces an uncertain future as the opposition outfit plans a national delegates conference in October to overhaul the national leadership. Sources say looming elections could give the Orange Party a chance to get rid of officials opposed to the party's new arrangement with President William Ruto's ruling UDA party. To tell you the truth, if I was ODM, to maintain my look and my projection as a democratic party, because it's an Orange Democratic Party, I would let Sifuna remain so that I show, well, this is how democracy works, right? Then you have Kenya races to secure U.S. trade, strained ties. MPs reject proposed bill tightening power handover procedure. A House team has shut down a proposed law which was aimed at streamlining the transition of power following the election of a new president. I'm glad they rejected that. It smelled from here to the high heavens and almost looked like an attempt not to hand over or to delay, or, this was the wrong time for that to be done. It should be done after 2027, so that people don't have suspicions. Babadogo jubilates how Austin's plea to President Ruto helped save a community's soul. What did he ask the president? Get the newspaper, right? Thought I was going to read the entire newspaper. No. The Daily Nation. MP's bribery scandal crisis. It has been a crisis for a very long time. It's been a crisis for a very long time. From the time of President Moi, at least that's the time I started following up on what happens in Parliament. People are, lining up on the corridors of Parliament to get 5,000 shillings to pass bills that are anti-Mwananchi but pro-government. And so this happens every time. It's a den if you talk to some of them MPs, and it's a scandal, like it's been said here. Crackdown, President forms multi-agency team. Sabotage, furious MPs cripple House business and paralyze committees in show of defiance. Backlash, lawmakers threaten speakers with no confidence vote to force them to act. Prosecution, rising calls for the president to submit evidence to charge rogue MPs. Retaliation, MPs vow to exercise their powers on budget cuts to hit back at the executive. Then 10 months after the impeachment, proceedings against Kericho government will again face senators today when graft charges brought against him by the county assembly are read out to the House. Now, he might suffer two things. Depending, he might be a victim of this corruption scandal in this sense. MPs trying to show that they don't favor senators or they are not bribed, or senators trying to show that they are never bribed by they never bribe the senator, they are never bribed by the governors, might actually try to punish him, or vice versa. In defiance, they might just get the guy free. Then JSC clears Mwilu of misconduct charge in Gachagua ouster case. Prenup cost woman share of ex-husband's property. Court dismisses claim of matrimonial home, saying it was off limits as per the agreement. A woman lost her claim to a share of her ex-husband property, a villa and an apartment in Malindi, after the High Court upheld their prenuptial agreement. Hey, kuna mpaka ma prenuptial agreement in Kenya. We! Hey! Havana kuseza. Draft claim, MPs stare Ruto down. Protest victims, we want justice before compensation. Hey, Kenya has changed kweli. Zamani ingekuwa tupatie pesa. The back of the nation, who to watch in Malagasy team as they land in Nairobi. When is this match being played, by the way? On Friday. Hey, okay. So Friday, there is a match that is being played. The Standard, log in their eyes, Ruto tirade against MPs has been branded sheer hypocrisy. The executive wrote dwarfs the spec in parliament, from dodgy tenders at KEMSA to substandard fertilizer crippling farmers to hush-hush oil import deals. The scandal trails his administration like a shadow. Even his allies' handouts at churches and stadiums, cloaked as generosity, reek as patronage politics. For many Kenyans, the president has squandered the chance to make corruption a high-risk venture as promised. Instead, his finger-pointing has exposed a government gorging on the vice it condemns, and all this time being urged on by his bosom friend, Raila Odinga. Then heartbreak for stranded families as state freezes overseas treatment. Simulipe, you don't freeze it when people are out there. You pay, and then after you pay what was due, then you freeze it. Now, you Makalatas. Court summons pathologists of Amwathi inquest. And then Kindiki navigates jinxed DP spot as running mate debate emerges. To tell you the truth, I hardly feel Kindiki. Kindiki is living at the worst time for a deputy president. I mean, he's overshadowed by so many things. He's living in the shadow of the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, even in his home turf. And the more he tries to exert himself, the more he seems to disappear, if you get what I'm saying. He wants to exert himself and appear as the deputy president, which he is, but the more he does that, the more unbelievable he is. And it's such an unfortunate situation for him. I believe he's a very nice guy. He really is. Executive wrote, when the pot calls the kettle black. Hey. Then the back page, Boniface Mushiri, how football got me out of poverty. Great. Great. All right. We take a short break, and when we come back, I'll come back with David Ogot, and we start a conversation about winning the war against alcohol and other drug abuse. All right? Let's take that break.